Hey, good morning, and we are back with another podcast, and this is Will Knight, your host, and we are co-hosting with.
Austin Petrus.
So, hey, how's it going today?
It's going very well. How about yourself?
Good. So, tell the audience what's your background. What do you do? We're talking real estate today.
Yeah, well, I'm specifically in property management. I work with Related, so they have a few big projects here in the city, but I'm currently at two of their properties within the Chicago portfolio. Been there recently, but I've been in the industry for about 5 years. Very much love it.
Okay. You liking it so far?
Oh yeah, it's very interesting, ever evolving. Every day's a new scenario, so it works well with my ADHD.
So do you recommend that anybody who have ADHD to go into the real estate?
Absolutely. It's definitely something they can give it a try. I think they'll turn out very successful from it.
Okay. All right. So what's going on in the real estate market?
Well, really, they're seeing a bigger supply of the luxury apartment developments. More so, just trying to find what can be developed that has the latest and greatest, what really stands out. You know, everybody's about finding more than just the apartment itself, but more so the convenience, the accommodations, the service, really about what you're getting the most bang for your buck for.
Okay.
So there's a lot that comes to it with how the market is changing nowadays, and what we're seeing is the residents want, or the prospects at least, are wanting to get the most value with where they're going to choose, and that's why you see quote unquote luxury sites doing the most really with, you know, over excessive amenities or highlighting certain distinctions that stand them out in their market. So that's kind of what we're really seeing nowadays.
All right. Which features or amenities are renters asking for the most these days?
Not a golf simulator, I'll tell you that.
Really?
I mean, that was kind of something I think in the late 2010s that people were like, oh my gosh, a golf simulator. But nowadays, you know, that's kind of something I see a lot more people walk by. But more so lounges. I think after COVID, we really saw how it changed people with not being that close together, not being that social. Now it's that trend where it's coming back and they want to bring the neighbors together, the prospects. So having more access, work from home accommodations, so co-working spaces or lounges in that regard where you can set up complimentary Wi-Fi. So you're seeing a bigger trend in those specific kind of amenities or features per se than what might have been before.
Okay. How does neighborhoods differ from terms of renters' expectations and going on? Because I know, like, in Chicago, even in New York, there's always different neighborhoods, people moving from East Coast to West Coast. So what neighborhoods are, should we say, like, they're looking at?
Definitely within the downtown area, you're going to see West Loop, particularly Fulton Market, Wicker Park, a little bit of Bucktown. Those are going to be people who really are coming from out of state, who want to get a more trendier feel with still close proximity to the downtown area. But I would still suggest that other neighborhoods we're seeing a bigger uptick in people moving into or moving towards is, you know, South Loop is a great neighborhood. It's literally in the downtown area, still with, I would consider, more reasonable pricing in comparison to even the other neighborhoods within the West Loop. So it's really about what prospects want in particular, and again, most bang for your buck. So seeing that trend happen over here too, and you're seeing a big shift in developments happening over in South Loop as well. Lincoln Park too, that's another nice area. You got the amazing park there. Not really a lot of tourists go there, but it helps kind of have that close proximity to downtown, but a little bit more, less high rises. So if people want that, or, you know, big into families, you're seeing that big drive in those neighborhoods as well.
Okay. Does pricing come into pricing is always comes into effect when it comes to, but what are we looking at so far as like rental prices from the West Loop or the South Loop?
Absolutely. I mean, you can see a 2-bedroom in the West Loop area coming around, I would guesstimate between 4,500 to 6, really
Okay.
depending on which building it is, what amenities they have, the square footage. Whereas in South Loop, you could still take advantage of even getting a 2 or 3 bed within the 3 to 4,000s.
Okay.
So you're getting less in price, but you're getting more in convenience, I would even say.
Yeah. So when it comes to applying, what should renters have prepared before they start to applying for a luxury space?
A job is a good start. No, I'm kidding. But definitely.
Well, that is true.
Yeah,
That is true.
Can't just hand it to you for free.
Right.
But, making sure you have valid proof of income, of course, like a driver's license that's up to date. In any event, if you know there's something on your background, have that documentation ready, because you never know, even in the event that, if you apply for something and you come back, conditionally approved or even denied, there's still opportunities for you to still push through and see if you can overturn that into an approval.
Yeah, because a lot of people have done stuff in their background when they were young, 16, 14, 15 years old.
People aren't perfect.
Right, exactly. What are some of the most common mistakes renters make during the application process?
Forgetting to sign and date at the very bottom. They fill out all the personal information, but when you go to the end where it says you need to consent to the background check and stuff, I've had more times than I would like to say that I've had to give them a call and be like, I need you to come back. I need you to come back.
There's
and
no
sign this.
DocuSign?
I'll do a DocuSign if they really need it, but I'm a little more old-fashioned. I was like, you got to come back.
Okay. What about the upfront costs?
Upfront costs are a little more reasonable. I mean, you're seeing a new trend where administrative fees are really phasing out. It's just, we'll be honest, it's just a little bit more of an excessive charge. But to some management companies, it actually does go towards something. But really up front, you're seeing application fees range between $50 to $80. And that's at least what puts the apartment on hold. And then there's typically what comes with that, either during the time of the application or during the time of the move-in, administrative fee. Those can range, between $200 to $500.
Because right now I know a lot of companies or a lot of landlords are not taking a security deposit anymore.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Cook County, the RTLO, they do not. They have the security deposit, but we're phasing that out because there's an interest charge that comes with it.
Right. So I know several people were looking, and it's a move-in, move-out fee paid up front, and it's almost as double the amount of your security deposit now.
Yeah, it really can be a difference as far as what you see. But again, it's all dependent on the management company, the policies they have in place. You can even find places where you literally are just paying essentially the prorated rent if you're not moving in on the first, and that's all that you're owed. So, always do your due diligence in finding out what you can expect when it comes to the move-in costs wherever you're, touring in the city.
Yeah. How do you explain fees, deposits, and leasing terms to clients in a confident and very informed manner?
Well, it's all about how you tour, and I use that as part of my closing tactics. I think, they're already under the expectation they're gonna have to pull out some money for wherever they're going to be moving next, and making sure that we're at least getting the tour, the presentation, the representation already to the forefront for them to essentially have that ability to then go, hey, you want to move forward, we got this apartment for you, you seem like you really like the layout, here's what you can expect as far as your upfront costs. I think transparency goes a long way, so not saying it could really make or break your opportunity to close that deal.
Does the views matter? I'm looking out right now, and this view that we're sitting in this luxury condo right now is just magnificent.
I would say views matter. If to each their own, really. There are some prospects who really just want a hole in the wall, a shoebox and are happy with that if that's what they need. Others are going to want to pay the extra to, you know, wake up every day and see a little taste of paradise even in 5-degree weather.
Exactly. So that's interesting though. What are some of what separates luxury buildings from standard buildings today?
The service, the maintenance turnover, as far as accommodating work orders specifically, the amenity highlights, how many amenities they have. I would also consider indoor insulated parking specifically a luxury feature.
That's interesting. You says insulated.
Oh yeah, there's some places that do this thing where they basically have exposed windows that's not, you know, glassed in or whatnot, but you're in the parking garage that's covered, but you're still dealing with the outside temperatures. And, you know, they're still going to charge you a different rate because it's attached to the building.
Yeah.
It's a garage. But there are some where, I mean, I've even had personally to pay $400 a month because the garage was insulated at one of my other buildings I lived at. So, I mean, those are definitely another distinction. As far as the apartments, the finishes themselves, you know, quartz is nice, granite is nice. If they have a little bit of copper, or now I've started to see a more boutique style is they do these gold trimmed finishes, like your plumbing, your sink, your things like that. So to highlight a little bit more, that's where you're seeing the difference. Whereas a standard apartment, it's more about convenience rather than what is it, like a how do I best put it, I would say like than a show out. To be like a flex. You know, you come into this apartment, you feel like you're in a pad. The other one, you know, you're given the impression, you know, I'm home, but that's it.
You know, it was interesting, going off topic a little bit, I was reading an article, and what sparked this conversation, I was reading an article. A guy moved to New York, and he's like, he rented this studio apartment. He get cheap. It was in I don't know what neighborhood it was at. It had no windows. And he said, the only thing I'm gonna do is sleep in there because I wanna be out in New York the entire time that he's there for a year. Because I guess he was taking a gap year, so he's like, I want to go to New York because that was his dream. COVID hit. He was stuck with a year lease. There was nowhere open, and he's stuck in a no-window, you know, bedroom or an apartment, a studio apartment, for a year. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself?
I think COVID threw off a lot of people's expectations of what they were going into versus what the reality of the situation come out of. But to your point, I mean, back to that, back to your question too. I mean, standard apartment, yeah, you're there for just your basic needs, and then you can enjoy everything outdoors. Whereas luxury, it's like a way they highlight the comfort, like the apartment itself that makes you want to stay in.
And the building features as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can invite friends over. It's cold outside.
Hang by a fireplace in a bar.
Right,
That's
exactly.
a part of the building, you know? Why would you want to go? You can just bring your bottles down here and
exactly.
toast.
So how important is it that clients are attracted to wellness features or attracted to other tenants? So like a gym, some type of facility, wellness facility in the luxury building itself?
I think it's extremely important. I mean, most places, you know, with how to make it a luxury community, you need to have complementary features. And I think a gym is the best way to pretty much tip over the distinction between a standard and a luxury site. And it's all about the equipment that they have too. So you can't just put, you know, a closet together and add a treadmill, some dumbbells, you know, a couple of yoga mats. You're going to need a full, you know, ensuite of fitness equipment. And to your other point, you know, a sense of community is big, which is why you see a lot of these luxury sites, they coordinate resident events, an opportunity to engage with each other. But on the flip side, it's also, a little benefit to resident retention. So when residents meet each other, statistics show that the likelihood of them to renew because they met their neighbors, develop friendships, increases by 47%.
Really?
So, you make friends in the building, you come to your
Yeah.
renewal, what's the first thing you're going to think of? Oh, I don't want to leave my neighbors. Oh, I love the community that I'm in.
Yeah.
Those are going to be some pretty big pulls that are going to keep residents retained and adjusting to even, certain rental increases come the renewal.
Okay. Is smart home features a big thing now?
I would still say it's in its beginning phases. The really biggest thing I see in smart home features is your thermostat. And you just get your phone and...
You know what's interesting? I bought a washer and a dryer, and this was
Nice.
probably 4 years ago. I bought a new washer and dryer, and it comes with Bluetooth. And I'm like, why would I want to cut on my washing machine?
Does it play music?
It
What
does
the
not play
Bluetooth
music.
do?
It's just you could turn it on. You can put your laundry in. You can dry it. It's just like I have to be home to do this.
You gotta walk there to put it in.
Right,
See, that's
exactly.
where I see less functionality.
Yes,
to it.
exactly.
I feel a little bit the same with the thermostat. Yeah, I'm call me old-fashioned, but I do not mind going up to it to adjust the
turn it-
temperature.
right, turn it on,
rather
turn it
than be 1,000 miles away to
Right.
mess with it on my phone.
Yeah, I don't get it either. So how do, going to you now and listening to your clients and the people you work with, how do you build trust with your clients?
Full transparency. Let them know what they're getting into. Let them know not only the apartment itself, because to me, when it comes to anybody that comes to the door, you want to give them the presentation that they are going to remember. They're going to look at 12 different other apartment communities that day. But if you're personable, you're honest, you let them know what they're going in from start to finish as far as from tour to application to move in, all that stuff. You keep that open line of communication. You thank them. I don't know how many times I've been on tours with others to see, not even that. I'm just another person in the door. I feel like I was like, I could tour myself,
Right.
But also, painting the picture for them too. I think that's a really great way to leave that impression. Asking them things that maybe, has more of a sense of care. Somebody's looking around in a unit, let them know, ask them, do you think your furniture is going to fit here? Yes, no. Handling objections. I think that's another thing too that really can help leave that better impression and convince that this is the best product to fulfill their needs. This is the best apartment.
Is it, going off topic, how common is it to rent a luxury apartment or rent, not a luxury apartment, a furnished apartment?
I would say it's on the rise. There's more corporate housing that would essentially, they're a third-party company that contracts with the management teams that operate these luxury sites, and they lease out apartments, and it's somewhat like a hotel, or an extended stay. People like traveling nurses or people who experience something where their insurance had to relocate them or something like that. Something happened to their home. They're building a home. Those, I would say they're not as big, but they are on the rise as another growing part in the business.
Interesting. And do people, like when luxury, or shall I say furnished apartments, is that across the city or is just in certain areas like downtown Chicago or?
Oh, definitely scattered. I mean, you just have to sign up the corporate housing company on their own lease. So the LLC would be tied to these apartments.
Got it.
And then they let us know about their guests as far as checking in, checking out. Some places are really cool. They'll even send us their ID so we know who the guests are. But there's others that you just, it's their apartment. We have a corporate lease with them, so they can essentially do what they want to do within the apartment, so long as it's, in agreement to the lease. No
Right.
parties.
No parties at 3 a.m. No keeping your neighbors
and don't
away.
exceed occupancy standards. So that's all we ask.
Okay, all right. How do, changing questions, what is some of the most difficult or challenging expectations you deal with?
Trying to reason, and I'll go into two categories, starting with prospects, trying to get them to realize that this is a rental. This is not a mortgage. This is not a forever home. I know people go into that a lot thinking, how long am I going to stay here? What can I see? And yeah, you're going to look for the most opportunities that come with your next home, but again, it's a rental. There's going to be another development. There's going to be another property. There's going to be another. There's always going to be something. But getting them back to reality when it comes to expectations when touring, it's a standardized unit. They say, they wish they had this. All the units are going to have this at the building, so or without it or whatnot. And then I would say also, ownerships. I feel like ownership groups too need. One of my biggest challenges is trying to help them understand what we're seeing with boots on the ground, what we're seeing from residents, if we're seeing something from vendors, or if there's this ongoing maintenance matter that even our maintenance team can't address. Finding ways that are being factual while also not letting ownership have the impression that the management team is not managing the property. That's what we're hired for. So trying to find that common ground, I would say, can be challenging at times depending on the circumstance that arises.
Okay. How do you communicate the leasing process to keep communications clear between you and the client? So let's just say, I'll give you an example. I'm moving from California here. I know nothing about Chicago. You're my leasing agent.
Well, I would certainly encourage them to check out ChatGPT now because that can give you a whirlwind of information about coming into Cook County, Chicago. But really with the lease itself, simply just reviewing it, going by page. I've had applicants who have literally read the entire lease, all between 40 to 73 pages of a lease agreement. And I've had others that just sign the dotted line and be done. But then when situations arise, we just have to refer back to it and, making sure that they're aware that, there are terms and conditions that come with renting the units.
Okay. Let's talk about green space living.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I think it's a new way of trying to be eco-friendly, so there's always going to be now with newer developments some grass. There has to be a certain amount of that within the property. And if you notice, a lot of these high rises will put it on their roofs to make up for some of the green space and whatnot. It's not so much like a community garden or things like that. It's more so just adding greenery somewhere to fulfill the city's requirements
of a green space.
But, some places like 400 Lakeshore, I know that's a new development. They're going to be having a park up front. So, some developers will put that actually towards something more effective and useful, whereas others you can see they'll put it in areas that I don't think anybody's going to see. No.
So we're going to start wrapping this up. A few more questions. What do you think the future luxury apartments looks like, or the future of luxury rental apartments look like?
Honestly, I could see it becoming a little more oversaturated. We have this big demand or this big drive from developers, ownership groups that want to make their communities luxury and stand out, where, in my opinion, you could still have a more subtle, standard apartment community that would still stand out. I mean, nowadays people are looking for better pricing. That's one of the top things people are looking for. Is this within my budget? Can this be something I can push for? Here's my max, here's my minimum. I get that a lot more nowadays than even what it was when I started 5 years ago. So having a bigger focus on budget accommodations is where you're going to see really the luxury side of things take a bigger impact. I mean, things aren't cheap anymore, especially in Chicago.
No, it's not.
So being mindful of that, I'm feeling like the luxury sites are gonna have a little bit of a shift in the near future with trying to come back to a little more subtle accommodations rather than trying to really get the most price that they can rent out to prospects.
Do you see a lot of people moving from other cities, countries into luxury, or shall I say into Chicago?
Yes and yes. I've seen a big drive of people relocating from California, the state of New York, Florida.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They want to go back to the cold. But I have seen people from a lot of people from Florida actually relocating here, and they really just want the city experience. I mean, Chicago, as of now, has been rated the best city 9 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them. Been here, love it, can't get enough of it. So, you know, people are going to look at that and see that and go, well, what's life like? Let's try it out. And why not try with the best, with a luxury site? So yeah, there is a big, I'm seeing a lot of people relocating from those main areas. But of course, I would also argue that the surrounding states of Illinois, you're seeing people relocate there too when it comes to work or, I mean, remote work is a big thing. So people have that freedom to just move where they want. So you'd see that too, especially from the surrounding states as well.
Okay. Do you want to add anything before we close this up?
I don't have too much off the top of my head. I feel like we did a little deep dive and kind of figuring out things and just sharing my perspective as far as what I'm seeing. But no, I really appreciate this.
All right. Where can people find you?
Well, I am with Related, so you are more than welcome to reach out to, I'm currently at Lathrop and Roosevelt Square, so if ever you're looking for an apartment or you have a general inquiry, you can always reach out to me at either of those. I'd be more than happy to help.
All right. Thank you for coming on, being our guest host for All About Nothing, and thank you very much.
Thank you.